All right, we had the GOAT being talked about in some sort of interesting trade conversations. Dallas GM Curt Miller mentioned Caitlin Clark in potential trade scenarios and how things work. This is very, very interesting. We got to get into this. Caitlin Clark on the move? I doubt it. I highly doubt. Caitlin Clark will never be traded if she does not want to be traded. We got to get into this. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video as we continue to grow and chug along. So we got to get into this article here. Shout out to Christian on Twitter. I saw this article here, and it says, Wings GM cites Caitlin Clark to explain WNBA draft pick trade chatter. Now, ever since the draft order for the WNBA has been solidified, there's a lot of trade speculation going on. Teams are placing calls. Some teams want to move up to number 1. Some teams want to move up to number 2. It's going to be a lot going on. The talks are already happening. Here it says, Dallas Wings GM Curt Miller shared an interesting stance about the potential of trading recent top WNBA draft picks. Here it says, the Dallas Wings secured the number 1 pick in the 2026 WNBA draft as a result of the draft lottery that took place on November 23rd. This is a massive win for the franchise, which now has its second consecutive number 1 overall pick and will have its pick of players to pair with Paige Bueckers, who won the 2025 WNBA Rookie of the Year after her stellar first season. There's going to be a lot of chatter about the Wings potentially using this pick on AZ Fudd, who is Bueckers' girlfriend and former teammate with the UConn Huskies, but there are plenty of appealing options to choose from. I think they definitely gonna consider AZ Fudd. I definitely believe that. While the consensus is that this might be a deeper WNBA draft compared to recent years, there isn't an obvious choice for that first overall pick like there has been in the last 2 drafts. Last year, there was no doubt that Dallas would take Bueckers, and the Indiana Fever had perhaps the biggest no-brainer pick in draft history in Caitlin Clark, obviously. Me personally, I think our fam would be my number 1 pick here, regardless of what team it is. But let's carry on. Wings GM Curt Miller mentions Caitlin Clark amid potential WNBA draft trade talk. Wings executive vice president and GM Curt Miller spoke with the media in the wake of his team securing the WNBA top pick. When the topic of potentially trading picks was brought up, Miller shared an interesting sentiment. Drake Keeler of IX Basketball made an X post that read, Curt Miller said he's already received more calls about potential trades for the number 1 pick in the upcoming draft than he did in the lead up to the 2025 draft. So teams have been calling that want to come up and get the number 1 overall pick. And here it says, Keeler made a subsequent X post that quoted Miller again and read, the Caitlin Clark draft, there was not going to be a trade. Paige was not going to be traded, but it will be interesting, and it makes our job fun to listen to those calls that come in for the number 1 pick, and we'll do what's best for our franchise. So teams are calling about the number 1 pick more so this year than in the past, because when the Indiana Fever got the number 1 pick, there was no point in you calling the Indiana Fever. They were never trading away the number 1 pick, which was Caitlin Clark. That pick was never, ever, ever going to be traded. Last year with the Dallas Wings, nobody called because they knew they weren't going to trade Paige Bueckers at all, at all. So, I mean, that's just pretty much what that is. And then let's take a look at this here. See, even in this mock draft, so there's a mock draft here on ESPN, right? And even in this mock draft, they have the Dallas Wings taking AZ Fudd with the number 1 overall pick. Now, I do like AZ Fudge. She has gotten better to me. I didn't know. She definitely started shooting the ball. I saw her shoot the ball off the dribble a little bit better. But for the most part, she's a catch and shoot, knockdown shooter. But I'm not like super sold on AZ Fudge as the number 1 pick. But Dallas Wings, it makes sense. Our fam would make the most sense to me. Lauren Betts would make some. I'm not a Lauren Betts guy either, by the way. So, but I get it if they do it. You want to get a big, I get it. Me personally, I will go Our Fam over Lauren Betts any day of the week. I personally like Flau'jae more than AZ Fudd, but it is what it is. So they have the Dallas Wings taking AZ Fudd number 1. The Minnesota Lynx getting Our Fam at number 2. But the Minnesota Lynx might be cheating, man. If you able to keep Lana Smith, the Stud Buds, Kayla McBride, Nafisa Collier, and you add Our Fam along with Bridget Carlton, and oh my goodness. Yeah, nah, that how did they get the Yeah, they're gonna be nice. They're gonna be nice. The Seattle Storm taking Olivia Miles. I think that's a no-brainer if you're the Seattle Storm and Olivia Miles is there. You pair her with Dominique Malonga and you have your 1-2 punch set. Like, you build around those two. Washington Mystics getting Lauren Betts. Damn. I don't know. I mean, if she's there at 4, I guess you kind of have to take her. You have to take her. But I don't love Lauren Betts next to Kiki Area Finn. And I like the other big they got. She wear the red hair sometime. Light-skinned chick with the tattoos. I just blanked on her name. My apologies. But she's nice. But I mean, if Lauren Betts is there at 6'7", I guess you got to take her. Flau'jae, see. Now, the Chicago Sky have to get rid of Angel Reese. You can't bring in Flau'jae Johnson and still have Angel Reese when we know they don't really click like that anymore. And that team, they came out and kind of aired Angel Reese out. Like, once she said what she said, they was done with her. You can't even bring Angel Reese back, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago are trying to trade Angel Reese for the number 1 pick. The Chicago Sky are probably trying to pair Angel Reese and not this number 5 pick, but Angel Reese and another pick for the number 1 pick. Send Angel Reese to Dallas, get him another pick, or send Angel Reese and number 5 to Dallas, and you get the number 1 pick. Something, I don't know. But I think the Chicago Sky are definitely one of the teams putting in calls to try to get rid of Angel Reese. Here it says Toronto Tempo getting Tania Latson, Cody McMahon, Gianna Neepkins. Okay, they don't have that girl from Maryland in here no more. Good, because she stinks. Kiki Rice, I'm not sold. But this is very, very interesting here, man. Get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. This is Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.